Hi guys, what's going on? Let's talk football. So, rating the managers. I've decided to do this, as you can probably tell quite quickly. I've decided to do this as a voice recording instead of showing my face to the camera because, to be honest, I didn't feel like it for this, and I want to make this very simple and very quick. This little voice video, let's call it. So I was gonna do like a detailed run through of the ranking of the managers and going through the managers of the Premier League before the season starts. However, thinking more about it, I think it would make more sense for me to give my better, more honest and accurate opinion of the managers once the season's over, and I think it's only fair on getting a more sort of accurate reading of how their performances were of the season at the end. So really, I don't feel it makes a whole lot of sense for me to do a ranking of the managers before the season. However, I am doing a voice recording of it anyway. So starting in 20th, I've put Keith Andrews, taken over from Thomas Frank at Brentford. He is he worked with Frank, but he's one of the few coaching staff that Thomas Frank didn't take with him. I've not heard the best things about him and I don't know too much about him, but hopefully he can prove me wrong. So I put him in 20th. Some of these I'm not really going to explain too much, but yeah, 19th, put Scott Parker. He's, one of those recent sort of football playing managers, if you like Frank Lampard, that I just don't rate too highly. But you never know, hopefully he can do something with Burnley. It'd be good to see if he can. In 18th, I put Regis Lebris, or Lebris, however you say it. Again, Sunderland, I haven't followed them too much in the Championship. This is mostly to focus on Premier League. Again, if he can... He might be able to sort of prove me wrong. I don't think he's the best of managers, but obviously if they do stay up, then that's all that really matters. I just don't know if he's made for the Prem. 17th, I put Daniel Farke. I mean, he's Premier League proven. I think he's an okay manager, to be fair, but he's at Leeds. I can see them going down. And the managers I've had to... It's a hard one, really, but I've had to put some managers above him. I couldn't think of anyone to put below him, really. I just think he's sort of average. He gets teams up, but I don't know if he can keep them in the Premier League. So I've put him in 17th. 16th, Graham Potter. I don't think much of Graham Potter. Not sure if he's suited to West Ham, but I don't think he'll do as good a job as David Moyes. But yeah, I can't really say too much about my opinions on Graham Potter, but hopefully he'll have a good season. Just don't think all that of him, though. 15th, I put Vitor Pereira. What can I say about Vitor? Obviously, I think Wolves are going to go down this season, so I don't think Vitor can be very high on my list. He's not a bad manager, but yeah, he can't be too high on my list. Right, moving on then to... I've put Fabian Hürseler in 14th. He is obviously the Brighton manager, had a good season with them last season, so I put him in 14th. Marco Silva I put in 13th. He's actually a decent manager for Fulham, to be fair. So we'll have to see. I mean, he could have got a big move. Maybe he will still get one, but yeah, 13th place because there's sort of better managers above him at the moment. 12th, I put David Moyes. Very hard on this list to say where he should go, but David Moyes, I think he's very experienced and he's shown some good qualities as a manager over the years, and he's more of a historical manager, and he's had some pretty decent success, but nothing too exciting. I don't rate him as highly as a lot of other people do, but I think he will do a fairly decent job at Everton. 11, I put Nuno Espirito Santo, manager of Nottingham Forest. I think he's a decent manager. Maybe he's better than what people think, or what I think, actually. That's why I put him 11th, but it's hard to say because he has a good team around him that worked well last season. So whether or not they can carry that on, then maybe he can go up further up the list. Now in 10th is a really hard one for me to put him here, but I put Ruben Amorim in 10th. Not sure if I'm going to regret that, because obviously he's the Manchester United manager and I do respect him. I think he's a brilliant manager, but I've only put him 10th because obviously Man United achieved nothing. Last season was like the worst season we've had in, many years that, most people can ever remember, maybe even in pretty much the history of the club. So, and of course, we almost got relegated. It looked like at one stage that Man United were right at the bottom. So just dreadful season. And obviously, I know 10th is not where I'd want to put him. Hopefully he can prove me wrong and have an amazing season, but he's just not shown much at the moment. Been a stubborn manager sticking to his formation. Whether or not that's going to work, it's hard to say. But I do think of him as a good manager, and I think he has what it takes, and obviously I do believe in him. But yeah, I've had to put him in 10th at the moment, obviously bringing no silverware. 9th, I've put Oliver Glasner. He's done a very good job with Crystal Palace, but there's two good managers, I think, to put him any further up. 8th, I've put Thomas Frank. I think obviously very highly of Thomas Frank, put him in 8th place. I want to put him higher, but there's just too many good managers. 7th, I've put Andoni Areola. I mean, what can I say about him? He was linked at one point with Real Madrid. So yeah, obviously top manager, but I couldn't put him as high because of, he's a Bournemouth manager. 6th, I've put Eddie Howe. I was going to say Eddie Hall then, like the world's strongest man, Eddie Hall. No, Eddie Howe, obviously done an amazing job for Newcastle. What he's achieved, in the past with Bournemouth as well, it's just, his record says it all, success, everything. Just top manager for me. 5th, Enzo Maresca. It's hard to place him because, he's had a season, sort of came in, short notice at the start of the season for Chelsea, but he's done a pretty good job, and they've won some silverware now, haven't they, a few times, and winning the World Cup is, they won the World Cup with Chelsea. So 5th place, Enzo Maresca. 4th, Mikel Arteta. Hasn't won anything with Arsenal. He's got to do more, basically. I think, in my honest opinion, if he doesn't win a single thing this season, he needs to go. But he's still done a great job with Arsenal, and to get them where they are. So yeah, 4th place. 3rd, I've put Unai Emery. I think Unai's brilliant. Some of the things he's achieved over the years. He's just a top manager. Amazing. But yeah, I won't go into too much detail on this video. I don't want it to be a long video. Arne Slot I put in 2nd, and Pep Guardiola, of course, for obvious reasons. Pep's got to go number 1 place, one of the best managers of all time. And Arne Slot with, an amazing, to come in and to win the Prem with Liverpool, with, some some players that have sort of, you didn't necessarily think that they would gel straight away with the new manager, and to win the Prem, just the way he did it, it's just it's unbelievable. So yeah, that's my list for now. Hope you enjoyed this little voice recording video. It's obviously it's meant to be quicker than it actually went on for, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And I will be doing ranking of managers towards the end of the season, to go through it all as well. So yeah, this is just a very basic one. Cheers, guys.